Hey, Skibbity Beat Bop and Christopher Reeves, everybody. So, Justin, we got some questions for our little mini AMA. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Questions, questions, questions. They are so fun. Questions, questions from anyone.
Ask me anything. That's what she said. Ask me anything. It's all been said. it's that's a
You know
riddle.
what? I
That's a
thought you were
riddle.
going to say something completely different, and instead you said absolutely nothing.
Yes, that's how it works typically. So, our first question, Justin, is could you guys please speak about the process of becoming recognized as film critics, like being affiliated with Rotten Tomatoes and some of the other perks like being invited to film festivals, getting celebrity interviews, and advanced screenings of certain films and TV shows?
Well, I guess a part of it is just us just getting our names out there and just really putting in the work and being consistent with the podcast. I think that's one of the main things that helped us get to this point is actually doing the work. So I think that's first things first. But then like joining, some of the critics circles and things like that, and then getting some write-ups and publications that helped with that. Brandon, you want to talk a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time. When I joined AFGHA, the African American Film Critics Association, that low key changed my life. Like, it was so weird how I signed up for this thing, I got accepted, and then within a month, I get an email, hey, do you want to interview Samuel Jackson? And I was like,
Yeah.
What? And they were like, yeah, like it's for real. And I'm like, okay. And then that just started this whole great relationship with fellow black critics. And I could talk for movies for hours. That's what we do in this podcast. And so to have an actual circle of critics that I can do the same, even though they take stuff a little bit more seriously than I do, I still appreciate their point of views. And it's just great I would have never thought as a kid who loved movies that not only could I be considered a black film critic, but there would be a lot of us that just we aren't getting the publicity and the recognition that we deserve. But from what I've heard, like people were fucking with the show, like, and so the word of mouth is getting there. We're all over the country. We're getting downloaded everywhere, and so that definitely has helped with us like selling ourselves to film festivals and stuff like that.
Now, guys, if you're trying to get into AFGHA or any of other of these critic circles, just know that it is a waiting game, and you got to have patience because while Brandon's already in there, I'm still waiting to get into this thing. I think I'm gonna have to apply again. So just be patient, but be persistent at the same time.
Yep. We also got very lucky with Rotten Tomatoes reaching out to us about accreditation because a lot of established critics I know are just now getting approved by Rotten Tomatoes. So that means we were doing something very right early in our podcasting careers together. And, fortunately, it's been going pretty well.
Indeed.
All right. Our second question is John Cena has had a busy summer. LOL. How do you feel about his recent work and recent explosion? Justin?
Well, I've been watching John Cena, from when he came into WWE. I think he came to WWE when it was in the WWF, still at that point. And then rising through the ranks as heel, huge baby face for wrestling business, and then transitioning into movies. So it's not like, for me, I don't see it as like an explosion because he's blown up. He's been blown up for years.
Yeah.
And he was huge before he came into the movie business, or I guess the entertainment business. Well, I mean,
he's literally huge too.
Yeah. So I've known about him for a while. I mean, I guess you put in the work, and then he can get to the point where he's at now. I think he's obviously done some dog shit.
Yes,
but I think he's great at comedy. And I think with the right roles, he's great in. But if he's doing something where like Fast and Furious, where they want him to play a villain, that's just not going to work for him. So I think it's huge for any actor, whether it be a former wrestler or just somebody who's just who's just getting in the game, that they're choosing the right stuff. And I forgot who I was talking to, but they said like sometimes it's not about going for the money, it's going for the good stuff. And I think going for the good stuff for John Cena as an actor or as a personality is going for those comedic roles that really lend to his skill set, as opposed to going for the serious tough guy roles. Because even though he comes in as a professional wrestler, it doesn't really fit to his kind of skill set.
Yeah. I will say, when I think about John Cena, Batista, and The Rock obviously is the bigger blockbuster winner in that. But I actually think Dave Bautista has the better filmography out of all of them. I think he's worked with a lot more better acclaimed directors, especially because The Rock has had some stinkers too. The Rock has had some movies where we're just like, what the fuck was that? John Cena just happens to be, it's like more upfront, because in the movies that he's bad, he's really bad. Really bad. But in the movies that he surprises you with his comic timing, you're like, oh, that's good. So I think, yes, staying in his like comedy lane, but he's also going to have to figure out a way, because, eventually actors get like hungry to do something else, and like they want to do drama, or they want to do, more, like maybe he wants to do more villainous or action roles and stuff. And he's going to need to figure out how to get that in a way that's not going to be so grating and bring the movie to a halt because of his performance. So, I mean, I get it. I think I don't think anyone's going to watch Peacemaker, to be honest with you. If no one watched The Suicide Squad, why would they watch that spinoff TV show? So I don't think that that's going to go anywhere for him. But I think you team him up with like a Owen Wilson or even a Vince Vaughn or something like that, I think we could get some pretty good comedy gold.
Yeah.
So it's just about him finding the right script to make him the big blockbuster star he probably could be. I think he looks weird, so I don't think he's ever going to quite make it to Rock, like, what's it called when, like, women swoon over you, sex symbol status. Yeah. But I think he could still get up there with like being like a draw for movies.
Well,
so.
I think John Cena's trajectory is closer to Batista's than The Rock's, because John Cena, like, Batista doesn't have the chops that The Rock has, much like John Cena doesn't. Batista also doesn't have the charisma that John Cena doesn't have the charisma, nor Batista. They have the charisma that The Rock has. Yeah. So I think they're kind of in the equal grounds on their ceilings. So I think if he kind of follows Batista's mold, as opposed to where The Rock was, how he did things, I think he'll be better. Start doing more like supporting things, maybe in like big ensembles, much like Suicide Squad, and then that will be his way to getting where he wants to go.
Okay.
Yeah. From his agent.
There's our career advice, John Cena. Figure it out from there.
To me.
All right, our next question is that Spider-Man trailer, though, and the new Eternals trailer, Shang-Chi today, is the MCU Prime for another great phase or the start of decline post RDJ? I'm not rooting for a decline at all. Just curious for your thoughts.
You want to jump on that first?
I mean, for me, I think that I think what will help us really embrace this new phase is if we completely disregard the idea that they're like just going to do another Infinity Saga, that they're building up to this big, villain, this big story. I think now they're going to start doing a bunch of little things, and then like they'll have some bigger stories. But I don't even think we have an idea of the trajectory that the MCU is going to take, just because, and we talked about this during the Shang-Chi review, we haven't even talked about what's going to happen with mutants. We haven't talked about, how Fantastic Four makes sense in here. We haven't talked about how Blade kind of fits in with all this. So there's a bunch of different ways they can go. And a lot of these roles are predominantly people of color and women. So there's definitely an audience for that. There's definitely an audience for people to see themselves in epic blockbusters that studios spent hundreds of millions of dollars on, because that makes us feel proud. That makes us feel included finally in the conversation. So I think the MCU's really, it's in a good shape. The only thing I'm worried about is the Sony partnership. I'm worried about those films diluting the MCU because it sounds like from what I've heard about Venom 2, this shit's now considered canon in there.
Yeah.
And so it's like if Disney's trying to navigate including the Fox X-Men film series to a capacity, and then also Deadpool, which, has its own weird things because Josh Brolin's in that, but he was also Thanos. There's like a bunch of little things where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to fit as smoothly as they're hoping. I think they're going to ask for the audience to suspend belief a lot this next phase. And as long as they stick the landing, I think it'll be fine. But there are some landmines in there that are mapped out in the films that they have.
I think the really big one is going to be the X-Men. Because the X-Men, like, it's such a huge property. It is such a beloved piece of the Marvel Marvel universe, not cinematic, just Marvel universe as a whole. So like I think that's going to really be the thing, and I think that that's obviously going to be a little bit further down the line, and they're slowly going to start intertwining that in with everything else.
Yeah.
But it's exciting because for me, I look at it as very exciting because the MCU did so many great things, and it turned out some amazing films, amazing storylines, and nobody saw it coming. But now everyone's expectations are so high for it that there's nowhere to go but down from this point. But it's like if they continue to take their time with it, they can piggyback off of that and keep on raising the stakes. But they just have to pace themselves. They can't do a DC and try to rush this stuff. They just have to continue to kind of keep the course and just build upon the world that they already have established.
I mean, they have the treasure chest to be able to take their time if they want.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, to your point, Spider-Man Far From Home, these rumors have gotten so out of hand. I honestly think, and I know this sucks because I would love to just get in the movie theater and know that I'm going to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland in the same scene and just be like, as long as I know that's for certain, like, I'm so excited for this movie. But, Justin, if it turns out that they're really not, like, Andrew Garfield, I know, has done a lot of interviews, like, saying, guys, I am not in this movie. Like, it's going to be bad. Like, if they haven't done any reshoots, if they haven't done reshoots with those two motherfuckers, then, like, it's going to be bad. If people are like, I mean, it would be cool for Tom Holland to get his own Spider-Man movie where he can just be the solo Spider-Man or like main focal point in the movie.
No Tony Stark, nobody. Yeah,
no Doctor Strange, and he's able to do his own thing, and he's fighting a multiverse Sinister Six. That's cool. But one, that doesn't make any sense that he would be able to take them all out because his powers still aren't fully realized. Because he could barely take out Mysterio. And Mysterio was just a nigga with drones. You know what I mean? Like, so it's implausible for him to be able to take out.
Your head. So somebody fucking with your head, and you seeing things that you think are there and they're not. I mean, that's a fucking fuck, right? A mind fuck. So it's like that will get anybody.
Well, that's the thing, right? So I know we're going off course a little bit, dude. So think about Vulture, like, was really fucking him up, right? Like, Vulture is like pulled him up to the school, like, I will kill you if you interfere with me anymore, right? Then he fucking destroys that building on top of him. Then he's fucking slamming him, like pretty much trying to kill him, right? Like on that beach. So that's the first villain. Then Mysterio not only tries to send a bunch of drones to kill him, but then himself is going to shoot Peter Parker in the head before Peter senses him, right? So that's villain number 2. I can only imagine the trauma and fucked up shit that Peter's going to go through in this third movie. But that's the tragedy about Spider-Man is that he's a great character, he's a great hero, but he suffers a lot of loss and a lot of pain. Like, when you read Spider-Man consistently, it is not a happy story. There's very small moments of, like, happiness. Same with Miles, man. If you read Miles, like, everyone's clamoring for Miles, but Miles Morales' story is actually even sadder than Peter Parker's in some of his comic book arcs. And so, like, I really wonder which direction MCU is going to go with Spider-Man, because they could go the more realistic, like, closer to the comics vibe, but that's not going to necessarily be the happy-go-lucky films that people
the heartwarming shit that everybody wants to get out of a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. But you know what? At the same time, I think either way they go, I think Spider-Man is going to be some form of a success because
course,
again, such a huge property and like everyone's clamoring over that one.
I mean, just having Doc Ock back is cool.
What's that?
Just having Doc Ock is cool, like back, like because that's visually that's such a dope villain.
Yeah,
it's Alfred Molina. You know, he's Oscar nominated. He's a solid actor.
Well, and even beyond that, like his just the scenes with, you know, the arms and everything like that, it's just such a cool visual with Spider-Man going, you know, throughout all the, you know, the fucking arms and you know, swinging through. So like it visually it just lends itself to cinema, especially what they're doing now, what Marvel especially is doing. I think it's just gonna elevate. But like for me, I'm just gonna, even though like I have nothing to do with these guys, but there's a YouTube channel called Everything Always.
Okay.
And they do a lot of deep dives on like the Spider-Man universe and the MCU as a whole. But they like do some pretty good like reporting. So if like you're interested in learning, especially MCU, but Spider-Man right now, check them out. They're actually pretty good.
Cool. All right. Our next question is, what's more ridiculous, Home Alone 2 or Baby's Day Out? I haven't seen both of these. I've only seen Home Alone 2. Baby's Day Out, I know of. I think it's with the baby that's like in a taxi or something, like going through New York City. That's all I recall from it.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen Baby's Day Out, but that was just like so long ago. I mean, definitely if a baby got, I mean,
they're both crazy. About white kids getting lost in the city.
Yeah. White baby gets lost in the city. I mean, somebody will probably bring that white baby
exactly
back.
I feel like the movie actually should only be like 5 minutes, whereas Home Alone 2, like we talked about, that nigga did premeditated murder. He could have committed that. Like the way that he lured them back to that fucking brownstone and just started wrecking shop. He's literally wrecking their skulls.
Kevin McAllister is the villain. Yeah. So I mean, I think it has to be Home Alone 2, because he literally took it to the next level, and he is unafraid. He is unafraid.
Yeah, he was a white kid in Harlem at a brownstone. Like he was just chilling. He's like, let me just put weapons throughout this house.
In the 90s.
He's lucky a bunch of crackheads were squatting in there and they fucking try to kill him and eat his flesh.
Yes. They definitely would have got that booty hole.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so that's a question. Next question is, what actor keeps disappointing you, but you won't quit them?
I know the actors that keep disappointing me and I want to quit them. You know, that's Jesse T. Usher. That I won't quit them.
Won't quit them.
Oh, I don't know. What do you got, Brandon?
Keeps disappointing me? That's a little tough. I would say maybe Jay Baruchel from like This Is the End and Knocked Up and stuff, because I actually think he's really, really funny, but it's almost like he holds back. Like right when he's about to like become big, like he'll become like the next big comedy star, like he steps back, and it's just like in his films that he's starring in or he's participating in, it's like he's almost there to be able to scene stealer, and then like he steps back a little bit. So for me, that's a little frustrating because I do think he's really funny. Who else? Maybe there's an actress that keeps disappointing me.
Actually, you know what? For me, it actually may be Kevin Hart. Because now, you know, I've said it before. I'm not a big fan of his stand-up, but I do like his acting. You know, his comedy, his movies more than his stand-up. Okay. And when I watch his movies, like I'm actually at the point where I'm rooting for him. All right, and I feel like when he's in a film, like he's got all these films with The Rock and those blockbuster hits, because you know it's Kevin Hart and The Rock, and they have such great chemistry together. But at the same time, when he's in films which are like he's like the front man, I feel like they're never really all that great. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, is Kevin Hart just gonna have to piggyback off the Rock forever, or is he finally gonna make a great movie where he's like the guy, and he really fucking kills it? Mind you, at the same time, he has some movies which were not critically necessarily successful or like box office successes, but like I was like, oh, this is a pretty decent film.
I take back my answer for Jay Baruchel, and I'm actually going to move it to Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'm moving it to Jamie Foxx because I want him to win so much. I'm such a fan of his talent, but it's like for every great performance or movie I get from Jamie Foxx, there's like 2-3 dog shit after that, or like wildly inconsistent movies or performances after that, right? Like that's why like so many people cringe when they were like, "Wait, they're bringing back Jamie Foxx's Electro," which is probably one of the worst things in that movie, which is full of bad things, right? Yep. And so, for me,
he may have been the worst. He may have, with the exception of the motherfucker from Wonder Woman 1984. He may be one of the worst villains in comic book movie history. Like he's at least top 5.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the slots are taken by the villains in Batman and Robin. So
true. I mean, but those are indicative of the time. Jamie Foxx, he was bad in any period you put him in.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Well, all right. Well, that's
a good one because he's one of those people who I'm just like, bro, come on, what are you doing? I feel like he got that Oscar. He got a little cocky, and then it's like he just started just doing anything.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? Here's another one. Now that you said Jamie Foxx, Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans. I think he's a phenomenal actor, but he's just not doing the things to really show off his acting chops.
I mean, he did respect, but unfortunately no one saw it. Y'all can read a review on the website, mediapopcorn.com, for my take on it.
And like his that show on Netflix was horrendous.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
And his stand-up special was horrendous. It's like he's like one of those people. It's just like, bro, you're way too talented to be producing the trash that's coming out.
That's fair. All right, there you have it, folks. And then our last question, Justin, is how many years have y'all been friends for? I assume since kindergarten. LOL. Y'all have such a great connection. Always keep me cracking up. # love the brotherly banter.
What? So we met 2012, 2013,
2011, dude.
No. It's before that. No,
2010 because
fucking 9.
We met when I was in grad school. I just started grad school, I believe, when we first met at Staten Island. Because I was still living on Manhattan campus. Because I moved my second year in grad school, I moved to Astoria. So I was still living in downtown Manhattan when we met. So it's probably 2009, if not 2008, actually, which is crazy.
Hold on, I'm looking up college humor. Ghost spiders. This will tell us right now.
Yeah, that's a sketch that we both met at.
Yeah. Hold on. Originals. This is 2010.
2010. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So 2010. So we know each other for 11 years.
Which
is just wild to just think about that this fucking shit show of a friendship is going on this long, and neither of us have killed each other.
That's crazy that was I still living downtown at that point? Because I could have sworn it was a while, like when I had my housewarming party in Astoria, I remember you came because you crashed that night. I have a picture of you in my inflatable bed because this is back when you were like traveling from Long Island and stuff, so you need to crash.
And didn't the bed deflate at some point? Or no, that was a different party.
No, that was a different party. That was a different party. This is my first Halloween party, I think.
Yeah.
My housewarming. So like Justin and I have obviously been friends for a long time, but this night it was my housewarming as well as a Halloween party. And one of my coworkers actually, I don't think I've ever told this story in the podcast. Remember she was like really drunk and she was freak dancing with this nigga dressed as Jack Skeleton who was rubbing on her voluptuous body with his Jack Skeleton hands. It creeped everybody out. Then she passed out on my couch and ended up peeing on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
That was a rough.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a mess.
My parties were crazy. But yeah, Justin and I have known each other a long time. We've worked with each other in various capacities, whether it's, doing a sketch comedy group together, bartending together. We've done a lot of crazy stuff.
Stand-up shows. Like, yeah, we've done a ton of fucking shit.
Yeah, we've done some interesting stand-up shows and podcasts. I remember when we first started meeting Patriot, and Justin's like, "Oh, I got us a guest appearance on this podcast." I'm like, "Cool." He's like, "We gotta go out to Jersey." I'm like, "Oh, that's not a problem." And then we started driving, and I'm like, I see Justin enter the address in the Google Maps. I'm like, 2 hours, nigga, where you taking me? He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, this is kind of like near the Jersey Shore." I'm like, "Did you just kidnap me?"
I mean, but it was fun though. It was fun. You got twisted that night, bro.
Yeah, man, because you took me to Jersey Shore in some random basement. I felt like I was going to the Kumia compound. I was like, where the fuck is this?
Bro, but then we're like, we ended up doing some random like improv songs, like musical improv. And then like I feel like that was the first time you heard me do this a fucking random Snoop Dogg shit. And we like, oh, we're gonna rap or some shit like that. And then like I started doing the Snoop Dogg, and you like looked at me as just like, I wasn't prepared for you to be actually that good with that thing. You fucked my head up.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good one though.
Been through a lot of weird shit,
Yeah, bro.
Justin see me hungover as fuck, drunk as fuck. Just a party.
You see me be a fucking complete another shit show.
Yep.
On stage and everywhere else.
Yep. Just a few weeks ago, Justin was laying on my couch, all crouched up, high as hell, giggling to himself, and then he started filming me on his phone. He's out of his mind. But yeah, that's how long we've been friends.
Yeah.
Good questions, everybody.
Wild.
Good questions. And you can email additional questions at mediumpod@gmail.com.
Indeed. And also, you guys to leave us voicemails. We love the voicemails. 347-508-0978.
All right. Skibbity bebop, everybody. Love y'all and enjoy this episode.
Later.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
Hey there, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes. It's your boy, Brandon Collins.
Guys, and it's Justin Brown. How's it feeling?
It's feeling good. I mean, it feels good. We're in the studio finally.
Yeah, man, we're here. Here. You didn't tell me how it was feeling, man, talking about your dick.
Well, I'm not going to do that yet. Not until we get into the movie where I start talking about fondling balls and big titty white women that have drug addictions.
And then you like big titty white women with drug addictions, Brandon?
Well, I do.
Huh? You be going down to Hunts Point?
I do, but now when I think about the fact that they replaced the Spanish girl with her, and I was like, oh, y'all doing brown people dirty.
Yeah, well, yeah, she went downstairs.
Wait, the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Or whatever that was, his fuck buddy?
Yeah, his piece.
Yeah.
And she was a piece.
Yes, but before we get creepy, we're Media Popcorn Niggas Spoiling Movies, and we are going to be spoiling Flight, 2012 film. Robinson Makis, I think it's his second live action film after, not the Pineapple Express, whatever that fucking creepy CGI Tom Hanks movie was. The Polar Express.
Oh, Polar Express was a Pineapple Express.
Yeah, that's
he didn't do that.
Robinson Makis, the same nigga that did Who Framed Roger Rabbit comes potheads.
Yeah, guys, this is a Denzel movie.
Yeah.
Denzel in full Denzelisms.
Got nominated for an Oscar. He was fantastic in this.
Yeah, he was. Because he was a piece of shit.
Yo, he was fucking wild, man. Scene 1, we see him do like cocaine and drinking. You're just like, oh, you a wild boy, huh, Denzel? He had that dad bod.
I said, like, mess man pilot. That's what he is. Mess man pilot. He was out of fucking control, Brandon. He didn't know what to do with himself. Oh, no, actually, he didn't know what to do with himself. Drink and fuck. Because listen,
He got a lot of pussy.
he had an hour to that flight.
Yep.
He was in the room with that chick, leveling off with a little cocaine, yeah? And then I think he tore out another nut before he got out of there.
Probably, man. That's why he's
Rock star.
That's why he's happy when he gets on the plane. He's just like, all right, everybody, we're gonna we got smooth skies, and he's fucking secretly pouring himself a screwdriver.
I gotta say though, that was smooth. That was smooth.
But that's also an alcoholic. If a
Yes.
motherfucker's stealthy
Yeah.
like Ocean's 11 for some fucking little miniatures, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because those things are cheap. Well, I mean, they're cheap for the airline, but not cheap to buy.
What killed me is when he's pouring that shit. Oh no, I said later on they're like, yeah, we found 2 empty bottles of alcohol. He's just like, I actually drank 3. He's like, shit, dude. So the other one's missing.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, essentially, they're like, you going to jail. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so the whole thing is his character gets really fucked up, and then he gets in a plane, and it's fine. Like he's still drinking and shit on the flight.
Well, first of all, hold
he's
on,
with
hold
that
on.
next to that white dude who's all like, "Oh, sir, I'm a religious man."
But they're going as during the takeoff. They're going through like some turbulent weather. You know, it's raining and shit like
yeah.
that. He's just like, we're going to punch through a hole right here. Don't worry. See, as you can see, I'm a trajectory right through here. We're going to be just fine. And this dude's just like, this is a terrible idea. And he's just like, I'm going to just fly through as quickly as possible. And he is just pedal to the fucking metal, fucking redlining it through goddamn a storm.
Yep.
And then it'll say he breaks through. He's like, see, when I tell you everything was fine, huh? You're like, this ain't going to end well.
No. And then with the flight, the plane itself starts like having a mechanical issue. This nigga was sleeping. He had the glasses on. He just
He had newspapers underneath the glasses.
yeah. They were like, "How long has he been sleeping?" Like about 25 minutes. He's just like something like it shakes a little bit and just like a little ring goes off. He's like, "Nah." He takes out the newspaper.
He's just like, okay, what's happening?
He kind of was, yeah. Also, I appreciate the flight attendant from Law and Order SVU. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I gotta remember her name, but she's
she was a coroner in Law and Order SVU. I can't remember her name on the show either, but you know, I'm a big fan of Law and Order SVU. So,
yes,
yeah.
SVU, man. I don't know why that's the one because it's just got such crazy stories, and then Stabler and Benson were great partners.
Yeah.
Great chemistry, man.
Did you see when they brought Stabler back?
I watched that first episode of Law and Order, was it Organized Crime or whatever, to see how they brought him. And I also watched Law and Order when he came back, and like, you know, all the shit with his wife and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm waiting to see what other people say before I invest the time in again. Because after he left, the quality of the show did get way worse.
I mean,
like the way they shot it, the way they tried to do the casting. With the different
it's
crews.
also a little different because they also went into like more of like the headlines, from the actual newspaper. So it's like they had the Michael Jackson episode and things like that, and it just got really weird. And so you're kind of just like, I don't know about this, guys. It kind of got a little hokey. Yeah. But let's get back to this movie. Let's get back to Denzel. We need to talk about, you know, Benson and Stabler.
This is one of my favorite Denzel performances.
Okay.
Dude, so Denzel, the flight essentially goes into a dive. Yeah. And he has to do all this maneuvering. He's like ejecting the fuel. He's fucking.
Basically, he's doing everything that he possibly
plane,
could to actually make this plane not crash. And then he goes, okay, I'm going to have to do some cowboy shit. Last ditch effort.
Yeah, he really did buckle in like, woo, this is going to be
He's just like, hey, Is like, so we got the black boss. You're talking to the black boss. Talk to your son. Tell your son you love him. Tell your son she's like, I love you. What? I love Taylor.
Yeah.
Listen to Taylor. I love you, Taylor. You be a good boy. He's like, all right, now that that's over, what I'm gonna need you to do? I need you to hit this, turn it clockwise, put it back down, and I want you to throttle when I say all the way to. It's like,
this is crazy. And then they flip upside down.
He inverts the plane.
Imagine you know what's bad. I think Dave Chappelle has a bit about this where it's like, it's like, you know what's bad when the stewardess and stuff start freaking out.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because he's like, if a nigga starts sweating from their lip, something's a foot. Yeah, because they were screaming. Like the stewardess was screaming. And then that one girl, like she was trying to help put the cabinet up.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
When they were like in that dive, and I'm like, I know you're trying to save the other people, but you gotta save yourself, girl. There's no way you getting enough money from the airline, and the way that they treated that people anyway wasn't worth it.
What do you mean?
Because remember, they said they couldn't sue.
Oh yeah, because they knew the risk they were taking, like they're fucking firefighters.
That's what made me like. It was because I love Don Cheadle, but he was a fucking piece of shit in this too.
What do you mean?
Because he's that lawyer that's like.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what lawyers are. They're just like very matter of fact. It's like, so this is the law. This is how things work. You know, they take the emotions out of it and they just get to the facts. You know, basically lawyers are the real world of the real world. There's just like when people stop being nice and start getting real. That's a lawyer. That's the lawyer slang.
Yeah, but that also sounds like a white man's playground.
Nah, brother. Johnny Cochran was one of the best. Don't you do that. We got some great black lawyers out there. Shout out to the lawyers out there of the world. You get niggas out of jail or put niggas in jail. We thank you.
Do you have a black lawyer?
No, I don't have a black lawyer.
Me neither.
Yeah. Listen, if a nigga's gonna get me out of jail and you a black lawyer, I want to see you. I got some shit I could use a lawyer. Come on, bring it on.
What do you need a lawyer for?
Hey, man, you already know.
All right, so Denzel crashes the plane. That was like a congregation, right? By the river.
Yeah. So it's like a Baptist church. Yeah.
And then like that, just when he's like, "All right, brace for impact," and even then, it's still like it knocks him the fuck out.
Well, so
I mean, that's such a violent. The fact that they most of them lived.
So
wild.
There was 104 people on the flight and 98 people lived.
Yep.
So
6 people died.
Yeah, right? so six people die, 2 were the crew and 4 were passengers. So they said a lot of the brunt of the impact actually was taken in the rear of the plane because of the way it landed. Yeah. Because the wing landed first and then it basically slammed from there. And he probably would have landed flush if they didn't break the other wing by going through the steeple of the church. So it's just like
that was crazy when they hit that and like the sound went out.
Yeah, and then Denzel looks at they look at each other. It's like, how do you do? And then boom, ball game, and he just boom and wakes up.
Yep.
Yo, this is
bleeding from his eye and shit.
Bro, that scene was so fucking intense.
That whole flight scene, absolutely. It's one of the most. I feel like if I saw that in IMAX, it'd be at the same level as when I saw Gravity in IMAX, where I'm just like, this is fucking too much, man. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Imagine like a Universal ride like that.
I was thinking about that. What if like someone was fucked up enough to make a ride like this?
Yeah, like fucking plane crash.
I don't think I could do it. Well, I don't think I could do it because
I'd shit myself.
You know, I'm finding out that my father died in a plane crash.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd probably be like too triggered to even like consider that.
I mean, would you, Brandon? Would you, Brandon? You ain't know that nigga.
I know, but my fear of flying, and also knowing that my father died of this shit, like that's what compounds it. Like it's not like I'm just because I just found out about my daddy. I don't want to go flying and dying. Like,
you like what Richie Valens in La Bamba. Remember in the movie, he kept on having those dreams about plane crashes and things like that, and then lo and behold, pow, him the Big Bopper, all the motherfuckers gone.
Jesus Christ. That sounds like Final Destination Part 1.
I mean, shit, that was in the 60s. Is it too soon?
Oh my God.
Is it
That would
too
actually,
soon?
okay, this is really, really insensitive, but that'd be a great prequel to Final Destination, where the one band member that didn't go on that plane because he had the premonition.
That would be so fucked up.
And then he got off. And then that's how it all starts. That'd be interesting.
Or the one band member who survived the flight that killed not Curtis Mayfield. Was it Curtis Mayfield? No.
Aaliyah?
No. I actually sitting on the dock of
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding, yes. I don't know why I couldn't remember.
Damn, I got you, buddy.
Look at you. You finally got one, Brandon.
Y'all saying I don't know no black references and cultural stuff. I know all the things.
Yeah, but you knew exactly because I set you up there. But either way, Otis Redding, because so in his flight they took off and they crashed just before they I believe just before they landed, but they crashed into a lake. And the one dude, he said he remembers his band member looking out the window because he was asleep, and he said, "Oh no," he said, "Oh no." And then he remembers right before he took off his seatbelt, and then he was able to get out of the plane. He got out of the plane when it was in the water, and he got up, but everybody else went down. He wasn't a strong enough swimmer to go down to get them, to save them. So it's just like this is a thing. But crazy thing is, James Brown, he's like, I told Otis not to get on that plane that night. Like that, it's I was just reading up about Otis Redding not too long ago, so it's like it's just fresh in my head. But it's haunting. Like it's a lot of haunting shit around like those plane crashes in like the '60s that just took a bunch of musicians' lives.
And then little did we know, Otis Redding was going to become Candyman. That's who that Sherman dude in Candyman, the newest version, looked like.
Otis Redding.
All he had to do was just come out and be like, and then Jay-Z and Kanye come out the hole too. They were just, everyone's having a good time.
Medium popcorn.
Oh, doggy, Justin, we hate to interrupt the show, but we got some more Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Patriots. They're back. Yeah. All in action. Yeah.
Where's Justin, Randy? Why is this?
I don't know. I don't know where he's at, but I'm here. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Okay, but we still need to call it Idris because that's what people sign up for. They want to hear Idris.
They want to hear Idris, but they got the Macho Man Randy Sam.
No, but Randy, we gotta use my phone to call Idris. We're gonna actually have Idris on. I appreciate you.
Son of a bitch. Okay, we'll call Idris, but remember, I'm still here. I'm the Macho Man Randy Sam.
People can't forget. You crazy nigga. All right. So, hey, Idris, how's it going, man?
Hi, guys. How's it going? Hey, Idris, how's it doing, huh? It's going well, Mr. Macho Man. Randy Savage. Whole thing every single time. Mr. Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's so weird how much you like both respect each other. You just pause when the other person's talking. It's like there's no overlap at all. It's very impressive.
Well, I mean, we're both professionals, unlike you, Brandon. But go on.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about being professional? Motherfucker. Nigga, I've been paying you in peanuts for years now, and you must stop disrespecting me.
Brandon, why are you coming at Idris like that?
Because Idris be coming at
international superstar
with a fucking teacup and shit. He always be trying to talk like he's better than me.
Did you not hear it? Regis, I just called the man Regis. Idris has a new little rap song, and it's actually pretty good, almost as good as my diss track against Hulk Hogan. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Check that one out. Put on your headsets, put on your headphones, and listen to that one. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, it's really good.
Okay. Well, Idris, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get us back on track. So, our first Patriot is also a returning Patriot, Misty Bess.
Misty, first of all, you left us, but it's okay. I understand. But now you're back. You're a Patriot again. Thank you for your patronage.
Absolutely. And then we have a new Patriot, Tom Mann.
Tom, obviously by your last name, you're a man. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You're now a Patriot. Thank you for being a Patriot. Thank you for being a man. Or if you're a woman, it doesn't matter because we still love you here. Thank you for your patronage.
You told some problematic lines there, Idris, in that one.
I did. Yeah, Idris, you were kind of riding a line. Oh.
Yep. We have two other new and returning Patriots. We have Cortez Eagle and Elias Castillo.
Cortez, first of all, you're a big fan. We've seen you here for a long time. You left a full second, but you're back once again. Thank you for being a Patriot. Welcome home. And Elias, was that its name, Elias?
Yes, Elias.
Elias, just like Cortez. I can't talk today.
I know you're struggling. You need some bubble tea.
Just like Cortez Eagle, you're a Patriot, and that's all that matters. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for being part of Patreon.
All right. Well, Idris, that's all we have for you. So thank you so much for letting me call you in the middle of your day. And I hope you enjoyed the crumpets I'm sending you instead of pretzels. Because I want to switch it up a little
Idris, let me tell you, man, I'm a big fan. Yeah, when you're on the wire. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Oh,
Thanks.
boy. I really miss Justin. Thanks, Idris. Randy, I do need Justin because we got a voicemail, and it'd be weird for you to listen to the voicemail because you're not one of the hosts of the show. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna try to get him, but I can't promise anything. Yeah, let's play the voicemail. I'm gonna make sure I get that patch Justin in and get him on the horn. Yeah.
All right, that's fucking ominous.
Hey, Medium Popcorn, long-time listener, first-time caller, and I just listened to your Shang-Chi review, and can I just say, you are fucking awesome. I am an Asian American now living in Australia, but anyway, and I have to say that watching that movie just was amazing on all levels, but being Asian American as well, just seeing that on the screen was just, like you said in the representation, I think it's awesome. I think that the fact that it was a good story and, you know, that anybody could have done that story, but the fact that it was Asian Americans was awesome. And thank you so much for all your commentary. I love your work. Just wanted to also say, I think with the Wong Abomination thing, I think what it was that they go to these fight rings, but they're working together. And so it doesn't matter who wins, they share the prize money. And I have no idea how Wong and Abomination got together, but that's what happened. And thought I'd just put that opinion out there. Again, thank you guys so much for all the work that you do. Love your podcast, and keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was a really sweet voicemail. That was nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
That's a good way to start my two Sundays.
Yeah,
I mean, my Tuesdays.
Big love out to you out there in Australia.
I hope no one heard that gaffe I just made about days. But yeah, Justin, if people want to leave a voicemail, how can they do that?
Guys, you can leave a voicemail at 347-508-0978.
All right. Now, enjoy the rest of this episode. Dig it!
Medium popcorn.
You know, sometimes, guys, I say things on this show that I'm just like, maybe I need to go to hell for. Well, that you just said Otis Redding was Candyman in the new Candyman. He's like, he survived the crash. Nigga just got a hook. He's just singing these tunes inside of a wall.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
All the kids in the ghetto in Chicago.
You're out of your goddamn mind, Brendan.
Okay, so Whip, which is a crazy name for a Denzel character.
Oh, yeah, his name being Whip?
Yeah. So he's devastated to find out people died.
Hold on, before we go there. Do you think this was written for a white dude?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they had him hooking up with a white woman later on.
Well, that's true.
There's very few black actors that be like...
And a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And a heroin addict. But like, so...
Yeah, of course she was.
I want to know, and I know it's probably in the notes, but who was originally slated? Who did they have in mind for this? You know what I'm saying? because this definitely wasn't written for Denzel. Definitely not for someone that black. And whoever it was, it definitely wasn't as good as an actor as Denzel. So I'm just curious as to know who was attached to this first, or who is the person that the writer had in mind when they were making the name Whip whatever.
No, I think Denzel was the first choice for what I'm reading. Looks like he was the first choice. He closed it right when Robert Zemeckis did.
Really?
Yeah, so it was probably like they agreed before, and then.
So was this a book or something like that, or it was just straight a screenplay that just turned into? Because it's interesting to me because a name like Whip is just not a name that you would imagine a nigga be walking around with.
I don't know about the origins of the screenplay. I know that he was nominated for an Oscar, the screenwriter. So.
Yeah. So I mean, but at the same time, his son was Knuckles. His son was a goddamn character from fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, but you know what? It's fucked up is the racist studios probably didn't have a problem making him black if he is white in the script, because they're probably like, he ends up in jail in the end anyway, so we feel good.
You know what?
He ends up in jail at the end.
Oh, well,
so
yeah, that's true.
We feel good.
That's true.
Also, I think if it actually, first of all, this is a different kind of Denzel than what we've seen before.
Yeah.
So I like that. If I saw a white actor do the same thing, I'd probably be like, yeah, been there, done that. With so many, Yeah. But to see Denzel do it, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, be this high level piece of shit.
Yeah.
Who for some reason you're kind of rooting for. But I
wasn't.
No, but I was rooting for him to get his life together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To get his shit together. Not necessarily like, man, I want him to get off on this. But I wanted him to actually get it together, because the way he played this character, it came off as somebody who's haunted by something. And and part of that is his alcoholism, and drug addiction. But
and selfishness.
What's that?
And selfishness.
Well, I mean, but he wasn't that selfish. Because at the end,
well, yeah,
I would have lied.
Well, I mean, that was
Brandon.
That was a great scene of acting, though.
Brandon,
what happened?
I would have lied. I've already done everything I've already done.
This is true.
I would have lied.
This is true, especially after the morning you had, the exposure you would give to your union and all the shit if they found out that you were drunk and high. And then they had to bring on a drug dealer to get you back to where you needed to be.
They needed John Goodman's big old ass to come in there and save me. First of all, John Goodman was amazing in this.
Yes.
He was fucking out of control.
We got to do Big Lebowski, man. He has one of the funniest performances ever in that episode. Not that episode. That movie. But it will be a funny-ass episode. Pointing at the camera right now. Because we got video, niggas. Subscribe to YouTube.
It's on YouTube, bitches.
Medium popcorn. Rub your nipples and subscribe. So, that whole subplot with the woman and he's in the hospital, she OD'd, so that's why they all end up in the stairway because he's just trying to get out of his bed. There's that white dude from Iron Man 3 and the Pacific. I think his name was the actor's name was John Badgedale or some shit. And I'm just like, why are we watching?
You talking about the guy who had cancer?
Yeah, but I'm like, why are we watching? Why do I care? Why am I supposed to care about this woman?
Yes, and you're right. And you're right. In some effects, you're right. But I will say that dude, the cancer guy, I actually very much liked this scene. I think that he brought, some interesting antidotes towards death. But being that it is coming from somebody who is so close to death, it does hit home a little bit more. And and he's right. It's people who are cancer and things like that. People look at them there's just people are either stay away from me or they're drawn to me and it's the death aspect. You feel like death is around the corner, And it is very interesting, and I thought that he did a great job with that scene. I think that he, if his scene came later on in the movie, I would even go on to say he may have stole he stole that scene obviously because he came in hot. But
he's acting against Denzel. That makes you want to step up your game as an actor.
Yeah, but most people fail.
Yeah, I mean the woman, the love interest failed.
Yeah, she was bad.
She was not great. Like I remember, like I think this is like her breakout role, and I remember being like, I mean she's like I imagine she's the redhead actress you would get if you couldn't get Jessica Chastain.
Okay.
Right? Like what's her Kelly Riley is the name of the actress. Like it's not that she's a bad actress, but from what I heard, she's on Yellowstone, I think, and she's like her performances are way over the top, which is kind of different than what she's doing here because she's doing like quiet, weird, like trying to go for that Juliette
kind of
Lewis.
mousy.
She's trying to go for that Juliette Lewis energy.
You know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of a younger version of the redhead from like American Horror Story.
I never watched American Horror Story.
You don't watch any of that?
Episode. Man, that shit freaked me out, man. Because I don't do well with like slit wrists and stuff like that and self mutilation. And that first episode, because the daughter's like in in therapy and stuff like that. I was just like, man, and that on top of like the dude jerking off while like he's crying and shit, and then you see like these kids get sliced up. I was just like, and there's episodes of this. Like, no, I'm good, nigga.
Yeah, it's not one of them.
That wasn't even that was the first season.
Yeah, he got wild after.
I don't know. I heard,
but the chick who's in that show, this actress reminds me of a young version of her. I cannot remember her name. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't care that much.
Well, we just did a 2-minute bit on it.
Not necessarily did a bit.
Nigga.
It's not a bit. That's who she reminds me, because she has those dead eyes.
Yeah, her eyes look like a blue shark. Yeah, man. It's like that. Yo, she gave the same kind of muted performance in True Detective Season 2. She was Vince Vaughn's wife. And I was just like, man, I really don't like this actress. And I remember like thinking halfway through this movie, like, why did they put this woman in the same scene with Denzel?
Because she's coming across. If you're gonna, I think it's hard to find somebody who can portray a drug addict. Okay. Because drug addicts is like they're either wild, crazy-eyed, just people, or they're muted and they're kind of aloof and just like, and it seems like they're somewhere else. So I think that's what she was going for, and because the deadness in her eyes, I think it does lend to that.
I can see the deadness in your eyes. Oh, I am lies.
So what song is that?
That's Deaf to Your Eyes by Seal.
Yeah, okay. I fucking hate you so much. So like I now I'm not gonna say I very much enjoyed her performance, but I can see what they were going for and why they chose her for the role. But she needed to give just a little bit more, because I felt like in the scenes with Denzel, I felt like she was drowning.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there was more of a deadness in her eyes.
It was like watching a 5-year-old get punched out by Mike Tyson. It's like, that's not fair.
These analogies are wild, man.
I also thought it was wild with Bruce Greenwood, who's like his like longtime friend from like a flight school or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
or the academy.
He's now he was they were in the military together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And he's like to the airport owner or whatever, the airline owner. He's like, he's a hell of a pilot, we've known each other a long time. He's like, is he drunk? This is how good how much he has Denzel's back. He says, he's a heavy drinker.
He's a heavy drinker. You can put a few back.
just trying to defend your one black friend.
I mean, he didn't lie.
Yeah. And then, when that dude had that whole like scene where they were talking about the insurance and like what essentially they need, like they need Denzel to be the villain. Yeah. To be the one that like draws all the attention versus the airline. Yeah. Or whatever, which is crazy because it was essentially like he was going to go for manslaughter, right? Because he had alcohol in the system, and like the alcohol level was like way, way past the legal limit. Well, and that's for driving cars.
Well, so basically, let's put it like this: these insurance companies, they'll do anything not to pay a fucking.
Oh yeah, I'm finding that out.
So if they, excuse me,
Coronavirus,
is there? even though they found out that it was a faulty mechanics which caused the plane to actually crash. Mm-hmm. I imagine, well, for one, he obviously goes to jail at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert, niggas.
Well, I mean, they were about to get him off, though.
Yes. But even though him being drunk had nothing to do with what happened, they know 100% that he saved everybody on there. None of that should matter. But they were just like, "No, we're gonna throw this guy in jail," because then they could say he's the cause for all of he's the cause
of pain, all your pain. And
that's absolutely absurd. But that's insurance companies. Yeah. That's big business, and that's why when people say it's just like, "Hey, Justin, why are you stealing from this big?" I'm playing. I ain't stealing. Let me not do that. Don't steal from the little man. Steal from the big corporations. They don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, man. I mean, he looks out the window as Denzel, who's like nervously reading the newspaper, and he's like, "Does your client know he's going to jail?" And Don Cheadle's like, "My clients will go to jail." And he's like, "He's going to jail."
Yeah, him going to jail.
It was almost
him
like,
going downstairs.
It was almost like that black dude on the Fire Festival documentary when he was like, you know, did you watch the one on Netflix?
No.
Okay, at the end, there's like Billy McFarland after the whole thing collapses. He hires his like old black college friend to like videotape him as he's starting to like create like fake event promotion, which gets him in bigger trouble, right? Mm-hmm. And the black dude's like, you know, I served some time in jail, do some life choices. And Billy asked me, you know, what was it like? And I told him. And like he had the star off look in his face, and he's just like, yeah, I'm never going to jail. And he's like, either this man knows something I don't, or he's clinically insane. Because it's like, nigga, you got charged with like all the charges. You're getting sued by millionaires. You going to jail, homie.
Yeah. But I mean, he was white. Well, he is white. So, so you know, sometimes white people are able to avoid.
I always worry if black men did that kind of these kind of schemes and shit like that, we get taken to the docks and beaten to death.
Yeah, we get.
They
lynched.
would never put us in prison. They just
we get lynched. They're not. No, that's the thing. They're not going to put us in the white collar prison. They're going to put us in fucking the worst prison that they possibly can, and they're gonna throw all sorts of shit. It's like, oh, this person killed themselves, and then they're gonna charge you with fucking they're gonna charge you with the murders of these people because of all the things you did. It's like they don't do that to white collar criminals.
But I didn't do it, Justin.
But it don't matter.
Do it. Justin, tell Tati I love her. You don't understand how much it costs to get a biscuit. What? It costs so much to get biscuits in jail.
What the fuck are you talking about, Brandon?
I just put down this road about biscuits. I was like, well, maybe they got biscuits in jail. You know, maybe like a nigga's like, man, I could really use a Popeyes biscuit. I'll suck any dick for access to a Popeyes biscuit.
Guys, well, we're going somewhere else with this episode. Yeah, so Flight, actually, you know, what killed me is when John Goodman came into their fucking, came into a hotel room. Okay, so Denzel, he's fucking up. He is drinking. Yeah. He is doing all the bullshit.
He's going to his baby mama's house.
He's getting it. Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, come here, son. Oh, let me shake you a little bit. He's
like, give me a hug. He's like,
that kid was terrible, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That actor was not good.
Yeah.
He's like, get away from her. I was like, oh, this is like you got served. This was terrible.
What was the little kid's name that got killed?
Little Saint.
Little Saint. Yeah, the Little Saint, all grown up.
He looked like.
He did. So after that, Denzel, he goes to his buddy's house, the guy who's in the union.
Yeah. And
he has him stay there for like 10 days. The kind of like no drinking. It's like basically detoxing him for this thing. Denzel's sitting in a hotel room at night. They did the smart thing. They took the entire mini bar and just, replaced it with everything. And then somehow, some way, lo and behold, somehow the room to the next room over is open. So then he goes in there, raids the mini bar, and he just...
Well, we have this scene where it's like he goes to the fridge, sees the mini bar, and like thinks about, and then it looks like he closes it. He walks away. Oh no, he puts a bottle on the counter.
Yeah.
And then he walks away, and you're like, oh, cool, cool. Then you see a hand just swiping like a fucking horror movie.
Yep. You're like, ha! Gotcha, bitch.
And I was just like, oh, Denzel. He was fucked up. He looked like Barney from Simpsons.
His lips literally were rumbling like this when Barney burps.
Yeah.
That's what his lips.
So
He looked
crazy.
wild. He looked wild. He busts his head on the toilet.
Yeah.
And he's laid out in the bathroom. He's bleeding. He's all fucked up. He's like, I need to get a little. I need cocaine. Cocaine.
Did you ever feel like Don Cheadle's character in Denzel's? It was kind of like Don Cheadle essentially playing how much he owes to Denzel.
Go on.
Because Don Cheadle's film debut was Devil in the Blue Dress, right? Mm-hmm. That was a breakout role for Don Cheadle. I think he got nominated for Oscar for that one, right? So that's his breakout. Like he feels like I owe this to Denzel, right? Uh-huh. So then, with his character, he's like, I'm gonna get you out of this. I know you were drunk. I know you were high. I know you were like, out of your fucking mind. I know that you're a problem. But I'm gonna get you out. Cause you my boy, Denzel. You my nigga.
Everything that you're saying makes absolutely no sense.
Makes so much sense. You just gotta pay attention. Open your third eye.
No, brother. You all over the place right now. What you just said was plumb fucking crazy. He owes. So you're talking. Hold on. So you're saying that Don Cheadle, the actor.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with you someplace here, Brandon. You said that Don Cheadle, the actor, because he was in a Denzel production that ended up getting him an Oscar and being his breakout role.
Oscar nomination.
Hold on. That
allegedly.
Because of that, his character in this film was like, I got to get you out of this. And this was his way of paying him back.
Him as his character. That's how he played it. Like, I'm playing how I would defend Denzel in real life as the lawyer.
No. He literally told him, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit and you deserve to go to jail. But my job is to keep you out of jail.
Yeah, but, he was winking when in between takes and stuff when he was doing that. Don Cheadle, he's like, Denzel, I don't really mean this.
So the point that I was trying to make before this nigga went off on that ridiculous soliloquy that means nothing to nobody.
Are these things always soliloquies?
When John Goodman comes in,
thesaurus, nigga.
When he looks at fucking the security guard, he goes, "Hey, CeeLo, I need you to go out there and watch the door." That shit, I was not prepared for that. Killed me. That dude did not look like CeeLo, but it was just a great little call out. I wonder if that was improv.
Maybe.
Yeah, John Goodman has great comedy chops.
Yeah. I mean, the comedy beats were funny and like they came out of nowhere, so it kind of like alleviated some of the tension, right? I mean, when he has to get cocaine to like get back up to be ready for his testimony, that was wild. But I did like the scenes with Don Cheadle. The first time he meets Don Cheadle, and Don Cheadle takes out like some folders. And he's like, why am I here, Charlie? He don't act like he's on our side. And then Don Cheadle's like, your blood, they take blood samples, for toxicology.
Yeah, so when are we going to do that? They already took it.
They already took it. The Denzel's face.
He was just like, oh, shit.
It's one of the best Denzel faces ever. Because he just immediately changes. He's just like, I will have a drink. What does he ask for? A soda or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. I forgot what he asked.
And he's like, thank you. When he turns back, I was just like, yo, this is amazing Denzel right now.
Yeah. Because he was just like, fuck, they got me.
It was very much like the way he's looking at Don Cheadle was like, oh, so nigga, you the one that gonna call the feds on me. You the one that's gonna tell her.
The funny thing was, he was just like, oh, man, I gotta get rid of all this alcohol after this crash. It's like they're gonna take his blood alcohol now. Like, what the fuck is he doing? He's like, I'm gonna get rid of all alcohol. No one ever know that I ever drank.
Yeah.
5 days after the fact.
I mean, to be fair, he was concussed. He's not thinking straight.
Goes out to the farm. And then this nigga, he's talking to his crackhead girlfriend. He's just like, oh, we're going to fly to Jamaica. And I'm just like, oh, this nigga is on one right now. He was fucking on one. He didn't know which way was the fucking up. He was all over the place with the bullshit that was coming out of his mouth.
What was it saying? And he was going to let his boo thing go down for it. Because they were trying to essentially say that someone was intoxicated on the flight or whatever. Yeah. And because of the mini bottles.
On the flight, not the plight.
Well, you know what I meant, nigga. Like, just replace a P with an F.
Yeah.
Come on, nigga.
I mean, it's a completely different word. But
plight, flight. Everything was still got to go up.
What?
Because you get the plight. You're like, it's a...
Plight usually makes you go down.
That's what I said. Up, down, it's all the same direction, baby. Boy. But the mini bars, that's how they essentially figure out like Denzel did this shit.
Oh, yeah, because of
they're like, hey, I'm going to kill this toxology reporter, but they're missing bottles, so they're going to know somebody was fucked up.
Yeah. It's just like, and you suspended service on the plane, so, yeah, bro.
Yeah. It was like it was either you or the other person that had alcohol content, not content, but alcohol level, in their blood.
This motherfucker was a 0.24.
Yeah, man. Isn't it 0.08? That's like that gets you in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was 3 times the limit.
Yo, he was so fucked up. That means he was seeing R. Instead of the sky, he was just seeing fucking numbers like it's the Matrix.
You know, if you really think about it, for like those functioning alcoholics, like, and to have like a blood alcohol content of like a 0.24 or like even higher.
Yeah.
Is it the fact is that they're drinking so much, it then loosens them up and they become better at the things that they do because now they're not thinking, they're just reacting and things like that? Or is it and like if they weren't using alcohol, stuff like that, would they be better? Would they be worse? You know what I'm saying? Because then the gap in their minds start to grow because they're thinking about it and things like that. Or is it like they just? I mean, I don't know. I mean, mind you, like I've never been drunk, so like that's something I really can't speak to.
Shame.
No, Brandon, you already know this is probably for the best.
I mean, yeah, if you were the way you are, but on tequila, you'd probably be breaking through walls like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
I can't even fight you on that one, man.
You're a fucking maniac. That's when you were sober.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen you at a wedding like high.
Yeah, you haven't.
Because I feel like that would be like manic. You might be humping the ground like Bobby Brown.
Man, I love me a good wedding. I love a good wedding. We went in at your wedding.
At Dan's wedding?
Yeah, Dan's wedding. Man, yeah, we going in with these weddings.
Man. We didn't get the party at your wedding, though.
Yeah.
Because you surprised us with that shit.
Yep, nobody knew.
And we were outside in the winter.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that was not fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful ceremony.
Yeah, it was something different. See, now Paul's not listening, so what I'm gonna do is 10-year anniversary. I'm throwing the actual like big. That's what I'm gonna do. When we hit 10 years, I'm doing it right. So I'm putting some shekels off to the side for that.
Yeah, I think at 10 years, I think we were talking about going on a family trip.
Your whole family?
With like friends and family and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that, nigga. We'll see about that.
Why did you say that like threatening?
Huh? I mean, nigga, you could be dead.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're going to really regret this if I don't make it 10 years.
Nah, bro, I won't.
Yo, you a cold-hearted snake.
But like, all right, but just back to like, you know
you're gonna miss my Venmo deposits every month.
No, but just like going back to like these guys who are, like drunk high or whatever. Like for instance, Michael Irvin.
Okay,
he was playing professional football and actively using crack.
Yeah, he was crack, right?
He's like Lawrence Taylor. He was doing fucking drugs and playing at like a high fucking level. So it's just like, for some people, it can actually be a fucking a performance enhancing drug, but for most of us, it's completely the opposite. So, like,
dude, imagine you're an athlete and the only way you can get to full potential is by doing crack cocaine.
That's wild.
Be like, I gotta go smoke a bump real quick.
But then again, it kind of fucking just checks out because don't nobody run like a crackhead. You know what I'm saying?
I never had a crackhead run after me like a velociraptor.
No, you've never seen a crackhead run?
No.
Oh boy, you've missed out. I've been on in East Harlem late at night and seen some crackheads.
That was just me coming at you, man. That was
no, like you come down the street and all of a sudden your light shines. It's like cockroaches. They just scatter off. Crackheads, they got wheels on them, baby.
I gotta say something real quick. This is gonna come out way after we've done the motherfucker I'm gonna kill you Zoom movie night, which is the movie I wrote and directed in high school. In that movie, I played crackhead.
Why?
I don't know, man.
All right, guys, let's rate this movie.
The movie's so problematic.
Yeah, I can tell.
How long does he go to jail for?
He at the time when he was doing his like little kind of testimonial type thing to his like AA group, I guess.
Yeah.
I think he'd been in jail for 2 years. And he has like 4 years to go
Before parole.
Yeah.
Before like a possibility of parole.
Yeah. So,
man, think about your life, dude. And think about just hearing like even a year in jail.
I could do a year.
You don't want to do a year.
I don't want to do a year. I think I could do a year.
I couldn't do a year, man. I couldn't even do a week.
I could do a week easily.
I mean, I would literally be like on high alert the whole time, thinking everything's gonna pop off like the Raid 2, and then I end up beating up the wrong person, and then I get fucked up.
You could just get into solitary.
I just gotta beat someone really bad, right?
No, there's different ways to get into solitary.
Yeah, the last thing I need to do is be in a room by myself.
No, that's the best place.
The whole day for a week.
If you want to stay out of getting that booty hole clapped or getting beat to death, Brandon, you're going to get yourself in solitary. There's a lot of people who decided solitary was the answer. That's what you do, baby.
Okay.
You either do that or you become my baby.
You know, I just had in my head Temptations, My Girl, but for some reason I was like, my baby, my baby, my baby.
It doesn't ring. It doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah.
No.
Talking about, not walking.
Yeah, walking back. Here, put these fucking pumps on. Now walk back and forth.
Bring that our rating system, Justin.
All right, guys. So we rate these movies bags of popcorn.
Nadine Velasquez, by the way, call me.
What?
That's the Spanish actress. Played the girlfriend at the beginning.
So, guys, we rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional.
Looking
if
like
a
a
movie
peanut
doesn't deserve
butter
any
cup.
popcorn, we throw it into the dog shit pile. We pile piles and piles of dog shit on top of it. So, Brandon, we watch Flight, a Denzel movie, 2012. What say you, sir?
Yeah, this gets a large. It's a really good movie. It's fucked up. Denzel's a wild boy in this movie, which is one of the things I like most about it. Don Cheadle was solid. Bruce Greenwood was solid. John Goodman stole his scenes. Kelly Riley could have done without you. Could have done without the whole subplot. Like, we literally could have just gone with the stairway scene, not knowing who she was before, and like it would have been good. Just keep it moving. Yeah, I would have rather seen him, Denzel, with his ex-wife, dealing with the stuff that they had at the barn than like him with this random white woman that he was fucking and then getting drunk with. But, you know, he's a fuck hound. He's like, he saw those big white titties. He's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have some fun today.
Was that a Denzel impersonation that I heard you trying to do?
Yes.
It's bad. It's bad.
How bad?
That's pretty bad. That was almost like your Kanye. Hey! Yeah, I'm gonna give it a large as well. I think, well, obviously Denzel brought it in this one. He really did. Don Cheadle was good. John Goodman was good. Like, everybody was just like solid in this, with the exception of, you know, our doll-eyed white woman.
And his son.
Oh yeah, and the son.
Lil
The son,
Saint.
yeah. Lil Saint was trash. And that's the thing. Sometimes, you watch these movies and you have these acclaimed actors, and then they give somebody a shot in these films, and you're just like, why?
Why? Why are you doing this to yourself?
And listen, young actors, people who are trying to make it up, getting a shot in a film like this is huge.
Yeah.
And it's important to be able to give, these roles to upcoming artists and give them an opportunity to shine. But if they can't do it, they can't fucking do it. Find somebody else. Yeah. And this kid was not good. I hate to shit on him, but
find somebody else.
It was just very bad. You have Denzel Washington, and then you brought in fucking BET actor. That's what we saw.
Don't do that. Then don't shit on BET actors, bro.
Can you tell me another level of low level acting niggerdom?
Gabrielle Union did fucking BET movies and shows.
Now, who did Gabrielle Union act against in those BET shows and movies? BET actors. Now, BET actors, they have never achieved Oscar status at any point, have they?
Yeah, but some black people don't give a fuck about that stuff.
Yes, but BET acting is not good acting as far as it comes to black people, black actors. It's the lowest common denominator of acting, as opposed, I know I'm shitting on BET real hard,
yeah,
but I told you it's because I did.
Pointing your fucking finger.
No, it's because I did something. I filmed something for BET, and it was the worst experience I ever had. So I don't have any love for BET.
You're just a little biased. That's all.
I am biased. I'll say I am biased, but
it's okay to be biased. I support you.
BET has not.
Congratulations. Congrats, Justin, on coming out. You said bye. That was a good joke.
That's what you were doing?
That was a joke in my head.
That's what you were doing?
Yeah.
So you're saying you support me for being biased?
Bisexual. I was like, I have the dyslexia about words, so I was going to try to be like, I support you for being bisexual. I'm not biased. I'm not a psychopath.
Guys.
How can people follow you, Justin?
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown Dinner on Twitter and Instagram. Brandon?
Y'all can follow me at American College, AmericanCollege.com. You can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on iTunes, Twitter, social media, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube page, youtube.com/Medium Popcorn. And then, Justin, if people want to support the show financially, what can they do, my brother?
Guys, take your cell phone down. The patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. We got $2. $5, $10, $15 packages on Patreon. Get on there. Get yourself some of that good Patriot love.
Exactly. You're going to get some 15-foot-longers out of that motherfucker. It's going to be worth the price.
Okay. And then also, you can take yourself to tpublic.com, grab some swag. We got new T-shirts. We got the logo. We got some other shit on there. You need to get on tpublic.com/Medium Popcorn. Get yourself some shit. And if you're feeling extra froggy, Brandon, what can they do? Where can they go? Where can they tell us that they love us? Where can they tell us that they hate us? Where can they give their input on the films that we watch?
Y'all can go to www.mediumpopcorn.com, or you can give us a call at 347.
Go ahead.
That was my number. I was about to get off my personal phone.
Oh, boy. 347-508-0978.
Oh, that's the number I had in my head.
Yeah, see, Brandon dropped the ball there, but it's 347-508-0978. And also, if you're a Patriot, the Discord, guys, we're there.
Yeah, go on Discord, find us. It's going to be a lovely day. Justin, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you too, Brandon, even though I don't know what the fuck you talk about half the time.
You're a good co-host.
Goodbye.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't bullet in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.